Hello and welcome back to the LT Showcase. Well, this week we're taking a look at Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the Souls series. I've played Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, and Bloodborne, all of which I kind of enjoyed, except for Bloodborne. I didn't really ever enjoy that, and then I stopped playing it. Is that going to be the same case with this one? Let's find out. So I'm not ashamed to admit when I was wrong. I did a bold prediction video and I said Sekiro was most likely going to be more of the same from the Souls series. I could not have been more wrong. So my chief complaint with a lot of the Souls series is it's a little too intricate in ways it doesn't have to be, as far as reagents you collect, leveling up, armor you wear, and then it has that stupid stamina meter, which, yeah, when it was in Skyrim, it was niche. When it was in Oblivion, I just learned about it, but now that all these games have stamina meters, even Breath of the Wild to some extent, I'm done with stamina meters. I just want to be able to use my character the way he was designed without running out of some finite resource. And Sekiro does that. You have no stamina meter. Kind of. What you have is you have a posture meter. So instead it's the opposite. The way stamina would work is once you expend all of it, you then have to wait for it to regenerate. The way posture works is you don't have any, and then the more your posture bar fills up, the more you're close to breaking your guard, and then you need to run away. That's what I mean by that. Well, the combat in this game is very intense. It's pretty much a deflect system where you can block anything, and I mean anything. I was at the end of the game blocking giant attacks of wind and things that at the beginning of the game I had no idea I could block. The only times you can't block an attack is when they have a little Japanese red symbol above them, and even then sometimes you can still counter it or get out of that. But yeah, when they have that symbol, it means they're either going for a thrust attack, a slice attack, or they're going to grab you and just attack you. So for those, you either have to jump over it and then land on the guy and then do a posture break that way. You can do a Mikiri counter, which isn't available, but you get it really early in the game, and you can basically step on the spear that's coming at you or the sword's coming at you and do a bunch of posture damage. And the last one you have to avoid. Now, the reason why I mentioned why you're doing posture damage is that's the combat. So you have health, and they have health. The more damage you take, the more your posture fills up, and then the slowlier it goes down. Same thing with them. So you will fight enemies, and you'll see they have 2 meters. They have a bottom meter that's turning yellow, and then they have their health. So you can just wail on someone and kill them until you get to where you can execute them because they're almost dead, or you can wail on them until their posture breaks, and then execute them. So once you get the hang of it, if you're timing your deflects, because what happens is when an enemy attacks you, you can block it, but if you block it at the right time, it will basically make a more impressive metallic clang and give you more time to react and essentially break their posture more. And that's kind of the whole gameplay, is getting that down. And that I found so much more engaging than stamina and rolling and having to deal with weight and all that crap that you have to deal with in the Souls series. Because in this one, especially before I learned how to play it, let's admit, I always like to find ways of not learning how to play the game but still getting through it. So on some of the harder bosses, I found myself running around, but you can run around infinitely. But if your posture is up, when you're running, your posture won't go down. So that's kind of like how it's similar to stamina. Is you have to stop, cool off, and then chill, and then it will go down. So you can't be blocking, engaging in combat. But the owl boss specifically, I just cheesed the hell out of it. I mean, not even that. Like, it was harder to do what I did than probably learning the boss. Same thing, I did that on the Corrupted Monk and the first version of the frickin' ape, which when the ape came back as the headless ape, I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. But the whole game is just so much fun. The world is great. The aesthetics are fine. You have these mini bosses that you'll find they'll have either 1 or 2 nodes letting you know you have to execute them once or twice. And you can sneak up on them. You can use some of your ninjutsus to kind of corrupt other enemies, and then they become your slaves temporarily. And it's just a lot of fun. And the thing I like about it the most is the more you play it, even though you're leveling your power, so you find these prayer beads every time you kill a main boss, or not a main boss, a side boss, or you find them in chests littered throughout the world. You can increase your health, and then you get these memories. So when you kill a main boss, like one of the big guys, like the dude on horseback or whatnot, you'll get a memory. You can go to one of the fires, but these are called the sculptor idols, and you can basically increase your attack power. And at the end of the game, you can even get a mask that costs a lot of money that will allow you to use skill points to increase your attack power. Now, the skill points are used to upgrade your character, but the way you don't lose souls in this, you lose experience, but you only lose half of your experience up to the next cusp. So if you have 1 point, you can't lose a point. If you have 2 points, you can't lose a point. But if you have 2.5 points, you'll lose half of that half. Although 30% of the time you'll get what's called unseed aid, and then you won't lose anything, or money. You lose half your money too. So really, you don't want to keep money on you, because you can buy coin purses from some of the vendors, and yes, it'll cost you an extra 10%, but still, it makes more sense to do that and then save the money for when you need it. Now, the only thing that's a little arbitrary in the game would be the dragon rot system. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the way the dragon rot works is the more you resurrect, which it's called Shadows Die Twice, because when you die, you have the option to resurrect yourself. Wait till you see the sequel, Bandana Man. Bandana Man's Die Twice. Wait, I don't want to die once. That's it, I'm out of here. And as you progress further throughout the game, you can then resurrect yourself more times while you're in the same initial life, because you'll see you have these little red circles on the bottom, and when you die, you have to do another execution in order to regain that resurrection power. So you'll find that you can have 3 resurrects, so you can in theory fight on a boss that has 4 stages, die on every stage, but then still resurrect, kill him, and then get another resurrect. But one of them will refill every time you go to the statue, the other 2 don't. So if you're on a boss fight that you know is really tough, sometimes it makes more sense just to die, rather than be like, yeah, you know what, I don't know if I'm going to have a resurrect for the final phase where I have trouble. Maybe I should just die and go back. And what the Dragon Rod does is every time you resurrect, the world has a chance to get Dragon Rot on certain NPCs, and if you don't cure the Dragon Rot, they will eventually die. Now, all you have to do to cure that is get a dragon tier, which is usually about 120 to 240 gold, and then just pray at the sculpture, and that cleanses the world. I think that's a little bit, I don't know, it could have lived without it, because then it adds the pressure of it, but it kind of, for some people, especially for me, it made me hesitant to use the resurrection power, because I didn't know how powerful the Dragon Rot was going to be. And there is a time at the beginning of the game where people have Dragon Rot and you have no way to cleanse it. But after I found out you could just buy the tiers infinitely, it became a lot less stressful. But the game is just great. You know, it has English or Japanese subtitles. I actually left it in the Japanese, and it's such a cool game. The combat is amazing, because you can, like on the final boss, I spent 2.5 hours fighting him, and when I eventually beat him, that round I just destroyed him. Like literally destroyed him. And once I got the hang of it, I was blocking things I thought I couldn't block. Getting in there, I found patterns to get in there, and just, so satisfying. It reminds me a lot of the Valkyrie battles from God of War, but the whole game's like that. Now, the one caveat I'll say is, this game is exhausting to play. I've never stretched out a game for 2 months like I did on this. I started playing this as I was doing the Dangerous Driving review, and that was like 2 months ago. This was back in, I want to say early April. I picked the game up, and I've been playing it off and on. Like, I really been busy at work, and I just haven't had much time. So I really was just playing it once a week or so, but it's not, I don't know, I didn't like doing that, because you would lose the hang of it. And also, it was daunting to play, because it was so freaking hard. But so satisfying. Really enjoyed it. And then it's funny, once I beat the game, I then went through, and you can fight old bosses and you just destroy them. Same thing, I don't have any footage of this, but there's a second fight with the Headless Ape where he has a buddy with him and just destroyed it. And one of the, you get these additional moves where you hold both bumpers, and one of them is using the Mortal Blade. The Mortal Blade is a thing you get around midway that can kill undead enemies permanently. And there's a technique where you can use that is just godly. Yes, it uses spirit emblems. Spirit emblems are the things that let you use your prosthetics. As you lose your hand at the beginning of the game, and then you get a prosthetic one that has these abilities like being a spear, being flames, which I never even found the firecrackers. I'm an idiot, because the firecrackers allegedly are you get it early and one of the best weapons in the game. I never upgraded them, didn't use them at all. But the spirit emblems I used for the Mortal Blade Strike, and it would do a whip and then another whip, and it would go through people's health bars, like literally go through people's health bars, and just made some boss fights so easy that it was great. And even without the spirit emblems, you could still use it, and it did big damage. So having that thing was just great as a just the best technique in the game. Far better than there was one that did extra posture damage. I never liked that one. The Mortal Blade one, if you want a tip, use it. Don't worry about the spirit emblems; they're not as big a deal. Using that will get you big damage on pretty much anything, and it does a great job. And another thing I'll mention is that the God, what else? Spirit emblems, the Mortal Blade. Ring around. I mean, just executing stuff is amazing. You get to that red dot and you're just like, oh. Like, it elicits that great response. So I loved Sekiro. It right now is probably gonna be up there for one of my games of the year. That's how much I like this game. They just corrected every problem I have with the Souls series, and I hope that they make another game in this style, because I'm all for it. So yeah, if I was going to give this game a rating, it's going to get a 9.5. It was very good, just exhausting to play. That's the only thing I'll tell you, is just give yourself, you have to be ready to play it. Alright guys, thanks for checking it out, take care.
What am I doing, just standing here?
Yeah.
Give me some weight.
Turn around.
I'll lift my weight.
Turn around, act like you're looking at that. Alright.
I don't even know. That doesn't even look like that.
That's fine. Just go reach for that. Hey, Jen, look!
Yeah.
Alright, see, that'll how it be. Alright, ready? And go. Hey, hon, look! The gift I got you on Prime Day showed up. Remember you wanted a new Pokemon game?
Oh my god, yeah! Let's go Pikachu!
It's the other one.
Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Wait, I couldn't remember what the name of the game was. It is Let's Go
Let's
Pikachu.
Go Pikachu.
That's what it says on there. Let's Go Eevee.
Let's
It's
Go
just
Eevee.
the version.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wasn't super very sure.
Hey, hon, look! The game I got you for Prime Day showed up. You wanted a new Pokemon. Oh, wait, you don't know about it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You gotta show it to me so I can react.
Hey, hon, look! On Prime Day, I bought you a gift. Remember you wanted a new Pokemon game?
Yeah?
There you go.
Let's Go Eevee.
Yeah, it's the same game as Let's Go Pikachu. It's just the other one.
But I wanted Let's Go Pikachu.
It's the same game. It's just the other person on the card.
It's not the same game. It's fucking Eevee. Nobody likes Eevee.
It's literally, that's how Pokemon always is. It's the same game. It's just a different character.
How much was this?
$30.
How much was the other game?
45.
Is that why you didn't buy it?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
What?
I'm not worth $15?
It's the same game.
I'm your wife. It's not the same game!
Ow! Go.
Perfect. Super very fun. Don't you worry, buggers.
All right. Let's do that, but not have it drag on so long.
Yeah, it needs to be much faster, but you